On the 2nd of August 1876, in a smoke-filled saloon in Deadwood, legendary gunslinger Wild Bill Hickok was shot from behind while holding two pair aces and eights, a hand forever known as the dead man's hand. But what the history books often gloss over is this. In the Wild West, death at the poker table didn't just come from stray bullets. It came from deadly secrets hidden in sleeves, under tables, or even on the brims of hats by ruthless card sharps. Today, we are uncovering 20 forgotten poker secrets and tools that 19th century saloon gamblers took to their graves. If you love the dark corners of history, hit that subscribe button. Let's deal. Number 20. The bug. It was simply a small spring clip, often an altered thumbtack, stealthily jammed into the underside of a wooden table before the game began. The bug allowed a card sharp to hold out a valuable card and retrieve it at the perfect moment. In dimly lit saloons with rough furniture, this trick was nearly invisible. However, as modern casinos standardized their interiors with felt top tables and the eye in the sky, this crude tool was completely wiped out. Number 19. Dalb. Dalb was a special paste, usually kept in a tiny tin the size of a coin, hidden in a pocket. The cheater would rub a microscopic amount on their fingertip, then subtly mark the backs of high-value cards during the deal, creating a faint smudge only they could spot. This technique once ruled the Mississippi riverboats. It vanished when card manufacturers began coating playing cards with modern chemical finishes, making it impossible for the ink to stick. Number 18. Shiners. A shiner was a micro-mirror. Sophisticated gamblers hid them inside flip-top rings or behind smoking pipes. When dealing, they simply glided the card over the mirror to read it before tossing it on the table. Before cameras, human sight was the only security. Modern casinos killed this by requiring cards to be dealt flat against the felt or by using automatic shufflers, turning the shiner into a museum relic. Number 17. The cigar smoke telegraph. This was a method of organized collusion. Two accomplices sitting at the same table used cigar smoke to signal their hands, a long blow, two short puffs, or the way they held the cigar itself. In the stuffy saloons of the 19th century, smoking was expected, so no one suspected a thing. This trick died a natural death as indoor smoking bans were enforced and casinos tightened rules against nonverbal communication. Number 16. The Push Dagger. Western gambling was a dangerous profession, and sharps always prepared for exposure. The Push Dagger was a small, T-handled blade designed to be concealed in a boot or belt, allowing for a lethal strike in a fraction of a second. It thrived because law enforcement was practically non-existent. Today, strict weapon laws and armed casino security have made bringing weapons to a poker table a suicidal thought. Did you know that in the late 19th century, you could actually order cheating devices through the mail? Companies masquerading as magic suppliers, like E.M. O'Neill & Company, published open catalogs selling holdout vests, primitive contact lenses, and marked decks. These archives now sit in gambling museums, proving there was an era where deception was heavily industrialized. Number 15. The cold deck. A cold deck was a pre-stacked deck of cards hidden inside a jacket, guaranteeing a massive win for the cheater. While players were distracted by an accomplice, usually spilling a drink or starting a fight, the real deck was swapped in a flash. The phrase "being dealt a cold deck" still survives today. The introduction of mandatory card cutting by other players and plastic cut cards killed this strategy. Number 14. The Gaffed Faro Box. Before poker took the crown, Faro was the wildest game in the West. The dealing box was a metal tray holding the cards, but sharps built gaffed boxes with secret springs and narrow slits. This allowed the dealer to slide out two cards at once to manipulate the odds. As Faro died out for being too easy to rig, giving way to the strict rules of modern poker, these intricate boxes vanished. Number 13. Nail pricking. A crude but highly effective trick. The gambler grew out a sharp thumbnail and used it to press a microscopic dent into the edges of aces or face cards. They read the deck purely by touch while shuffling. It was extremely popular in mining camps because it required zero equipment. The shift from cheap paper cards to durable, 100% plastic cards made indenting them with a fingernail impossible without getting caught. Number 12. Bottom dealing. This wasn't a physical tool, but a skill respected as a dark art. The mechanic kept a desired card at the bottom of the deck, and when dealing, pulled it from the bottom instead of the top at speeds the human eye couldn't track. It thrived when the game relied solely on manual dealing. Today, every casino uses a cut card at the bottom of the deck, completely neutralizing the bottom deal. Number 11. The Vest Pocket Holdout. a system of elastic bands and leather clips secretly sewn inside a gentleman's vest. A player could slide a card into their chest, and the elastic would pull it deep inside. When needed, a subtle shift in posture pushed the card back into their palm. This device disappeared as fashion evolved. The heavy three-piece suits of the 19th century are no longer standard attire at a modern poker table. Number 10. The check cop. A special sticky wax hidden in the palm of the hand. When the sharp reached out to gather cards or place a bet, they pressed their palm onto an opponent's or the house's chip. The chip stuck to their hand and was quietly pocketed. Modern casinos fixed this by designing heavier chips with non-stick materials, backed by high-definition cameras watching every hand movement. Number 9. The Stargazer. An accomplice hiding on the upper floor of a saloon, looking down at the gambling table through a small gap in the floorboards. They would signal their partner below by dropping chalk dust or lightly tapping a pillar. This was the ancestor of the security camera. The concept ended when casinos were redesigned with high, solid ceilings, keeping 100% of the surveillance power in the hands of the house. Number 8. Belly strippers. A deck where key cards, like aces, had their sides expertly trimmed to bulge slightly in the middle, or the belly. By simply running their fingers down the edges, a cheater could strip out all the winning cards at once. Laser precision paper cutting and rigorous casino deck inspections have sent belly strippers straight to the grave. During excavations at old steamboat docks along the Mississippi River in the 1980s, archaeologists found hundreds of rusted cheating gadgets and rotting decks tossed into the water. This proves that when suspected, gamblers would rather throw expensive evidence into the river than face the brutal frontier justice of the Wild West. Number 7. Edge Tinting. Instead of marking the back, sharps used a chemical solution to faintly stain the very edges of the cards. When the deck sat in a stack, they could look at the side and know exactly what was coming next. It was popular because inspecting the front or back revealed nothing. Pure white edges and borderless designs by later card manufacturers rendered this chemical trick entirely useless. Number 6. Foot tapping systems. Underneath long draped poker tables, cheaters used elaborate shoe tapping systems to signal their hands. Tables back then were massive and crowded, providing the perfect cover for accidental bumps. To combat this, modern poker tables are built with central pedestals instead of 4 legs, eliminating hiding spots, and bystanders are strictly kept away from the rail. Number 5. Sanding. By rubbing ultrafine sandpaper on the back of specific cards, a gambler created friction. When dealing, the sanded card would subtly grip the one below it, signaling the dealer. In the flickering light of oil lamps, nobody saw the scuffed surface. This technique was entirely defeated by modern plastic cards, which cannot be sanded without leaving painfully obvious damage. Number 4. The Keplinger Holdout. Invented by P.J. Keplinger in 1888, this was the ultimate mechanical cheating machine. It was a system of pulleys and steel tubes hidden in the sleeves, connected by a cable running behind the knees. By simply parting his knees under the table, a clip would shoot out to hide or swap a card. It was so complex it was only discovered when 3 gamblers physically pinned Keplinger down. This bulky device became obsolete as men's clothing became lighter and more fitted. Number 3. The Double Derringer. Not a card trick, but the gambler's ultimate life insurance. The Remington Double Derringer .41 caliber was small enough to vanish inside a vest pocket. When a cheat was exposed and the shout of cheater echoed, the Derringer was their ticket out the door alive. However, its terrible range and weak firepower made it worthless once the real gunfighter era ended, and modern weapon screening buried it for good. Number 2. Wall-back seating. This was the ultimate survival rule that Wild Bill Hickok broke on the day he died. Every seasoned 19th century gambler fought for the chair with its back to the wall, eyes facing the main entrance. It prevented attacks from behind and stopped anyone from peeking at their hand. In today's highly secure casinos, seat positioning is purely about poker strategy, no longer a matter of life or death. Number 1. Dead men tell no tales. The final and biggest secret they took to their graves was the identities of the corrupt officials who protected them. Many Mississippi riverboat kingpins operated smoothly because they paid a percentage to local sheriffs and politicians. When legal gambling formed in Las Vegas and federal gaming control boards were established, this 19th century underground network was swept away, burying the names of their powerful protectors forever. These intricate tricks and tools are remnants of an era where intelligence, deception, and raw nerve collided on the line between life and death. Today, gambling is a strictly regulated, high-tech billion-dollar industry. turning these deadly weapons and secrets into mere museum exhibits. Which Wild West cheating tool impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to join us for our next journey into history.